The following show and its content are the responsibility of the show's producers and participants.
Information related in this program is not meant to substitute medical recommendations. Before starting a treatment program, you should consult your physician.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Ignition. Liftoff.
That's right. Welcome to the Couch Live here on WPSN99.com. I am the street certified dope doctor, Louis Delgado, along with my partner, Trinity Phillips, the Dharma Guy, where we, what?
Stream Solutions?
Oh, I tried to mix it up so you'd get it wrong, and you didn't. You actually slam dunked it, Trinity. Anyway, it's kind of interesting, Trinity, when we go back and forth from different shows.
Yes.
The intros and outros of each
Yes.
show is just a little bit different
Yes.
as far as, you know, our headspace, the way we talk it, the way we do it.
Yes.
I'm waiting for the day where I actually mess up this one. I've been doing this same intro, outro for 20 years. I'm just waiting for that. Well, I mean, I've shifted up a little bit depending on the station, but I'm waiting for the day that I put the taco on another show and actually say the Couch Live and all that stuff on this show. What do you think? Think I'll mess up eventually?
Yes.
It's going to happen.
Yes.
We all know it's going to happen.
Yes.
The question is what? We need a bet.
Over under or something?
Yeah, we need to put that as a post on the Couch Live. When will Louis accidentally intro the wrong show? Now that there's so many shows coming out of WPSN99.com, when will Louis intro the wrong show?
The true question is when are you going to put the wrong actual intro on the YouTube segment? We're going to accidentally upload like the wrong intro to one of them.
Oh, don't even. I'm going to take a piece out of all those people that watch us to say, don't manifest that.
Yeah, manifest it. Huh?
I'm not going to manifest that, Trinity. Anyway, today we're talking about I will disappoint you. If I'm your friend, your family member, and I am suffering within my disease of addiction, I will disappoint you. Before things get better, I'm going to disappoint you probably a lot. And it's we're going to talk about dealing with it as a family member, as a loved one, as a friend, and we're going to approach it also from the addict and also from the processing it through so that you continue to, keep moving forward without letting that, upset the balance so much that you give up.
Well, yeah, I would say there's definitely three perspectives, though, right? I mean, I would say it's the friend and family member, the addict themselves, and I would also say the practitioner,
right?
The person helping the addict get clean.
Right.
I would say.
But before getting into it, Trinity, can you tell us the sponsors that allow us to make this kind of show possible for an hour straight without taking a commercial break?
Well, we're doing it ahead of time now. All
yeah,
right.
I'd rather do that.
Sure. Right at the top, we got Retreat Behavioral Health, which is a fantastic place. I love the fact that they shortened their name. So much easier to say for me.
Yep.
I was always so worried I was gonna get it twisted. And then we got Journey Pure, another great place. I'm looking forward to seeing both of them again at our tournament coming up on the 1st.
Right.
We got Orange County Drug Free Coalition, which I believe we have a meeting coming up soon with them.
Yeah.
And then we have the Now Matters More Foundation, which you're wearing the shirt.
Or not? Right here.
Yeah, well, in that camera it's backwards.
In that camera. Oh, dang
You
it,
forgot
I
to do
keep
the
doing it,
mirroring
man.
thing.
Well, it looks normal to me.
I'm sure it does.
But anyway. Exactly. All right, so now getting back into it. So I will disappoint you. So let's take it first from the family perspective. You wanted to go first on the family perspective? All right, so let's take it. What do you think about that, Trinity, when I say I will disappoint you?
Well, I obviously, I can't not be the Dharma guy in that situation. Right. So my first thought is most of the time disappointments are going to come from expectations. Mm-hmm. And so I think it's a twofold kind of question or kind of an idea is if you're a friend or family member of someone who's struggling with the disease of addiction, I think it's one of your primary jobs, other than forgiveness, is going to be altering your expectations. Mm-hmm. I think one of your primary jobs is going to have to say, to kind of throw out what you think should happen next. because unless you're, unless you have history with this disease yourself, unless you're in the field, you're highly educated on it, you work with it on a daily basis, your expectations are probably going to be skewed a little bit, and it's
sometimes unrealistic.
Yeah, it's not fair to you or fair to them. It's not fair to you to set yourself up for potential disappointment by expecting things that you probably shouldn't be expecting anytime the way you should. Yeah. And it's also not fair to them to try to make them live up to that, all those undue pressure. I'm not saying that you just allow somebody who's struggling with the disease to just do whatever they want and get away with everything. Right. That's not what I'm saying. But you and I both know, disappointments is because of your own expectations. It's not because of what somebody else did or didn't do. Yeah. I mean, if I'm expecting something to happen and it happens, I can't really be disappointed by it. Whether I like the outcome or not, my disappointment comes from my expectations not being met. And I think that's a problem. I really do. I think that a lot of times, especially from the outside perspective of the family member or whatever, I think, they believe in the best of the person. They're not thinking that they're now being controlled by this disease. They still see their friend or family member, and they get hurt and they get disappointed because they keep thinking this time's going to be different. They're not going to lie to me this time, or they're not going to do this, or not. And maybe your loved one wouldn't, but the disease doesn't love you. The disease doesn't care, and the disease is whatever it was going to do. And so I think it's very difficult for them to separate the two, and I think that's what they have to do. And the other part of it too is a lot of them think that, oh, they're in treatment. We're done. They're in treatment. We're good to go. Everything's going to be perfect after 30 days. We're all good to go. I'm going to forget everything. I'm going to be happy. They're going to be perfect. Yay.
The first time.
Yeah, and it's not always the case. Right. In some cases, I'm sure that is what happens, and that's awesome. Right. But, you and I are very familiar with a lot of people who don't. I mean, we just met somebody not too long ago who went through like over 10 times. Yeah. And they're clean and sober now for many, many years, and it worked. But for the first 9, I'm sure it was probably a very difficult process for everybody involved. And so I think from a family member's perspective, I think you got to kind of be honest with yourself. Maybe kind of talk to your own type of counseling to help you deal with monitoring your expectations a little bit, because it's not going to be fun, man. It sucks to have expectations and not be met, and it sucks even more to think that's on you, not them. That's a hard thing for people to swallow, to say it's my fault for having these expectations, because they're going to want to say, well, this person did this. Well, of course they did. It's like getting upset at cancer for coming back. You know what I mean? Which rightfully so. I mean, people do get mad at it, but at the end of the day, they also know that it's not warranted, I guess. But those are my thoughts.
Yeah, good initial thoughts. I mean, I mimic a lot of what you're saying on there. And I think that, unfortunately, we take, when it's your family member, your friend, and they're struggling through this disease, and they confide in you. I'm going from the initial standpoint. Early on in the disease, maybe they started confiding in you, and you had some conversations with them, and probably some really good conversations, and probably had some real good heart-to-hearts where you guys both felt, we've come to a good understanding. I think he or she understands what I'm saying, and you leave that conversation very hopeful. Yeah. And then as time progresses and the disease continues and maybe the person uses, you start thinking, well, clearly you don't value our relationship or my opinion. You start taking it personal.
Yeah, you start filling in the narrative a little bit.
Yeah, you fill in the narrative and you take it personal, and you start thinking, well, clearly you don't want my opinion. I mean, you ask me my opinion, but I give you my opinion and you're not doing it. I give you my advice, you're not doing it. So you start lessening how much you really want to contribute to that relationship. And then if time progresses, depending on the relationship you have, if it's one of blood and one of close proximity, and you can't simply step away very easily, right? It could drag on for a long time, and then you take it even more personal. And now you start looking at it like you just don't even care. I mean, what are you, stupid? I mean, you just don't even care. You just, you say you want something. I don't believe you. I don't believe you anymore. Everything out of your mouth is a lie. And everything you do is just to use other people. And you start saying all these things that if you're judging the behavior, yes. If you're judging the disease of addiction and what it's trying to do, yes. Unfortunately, there's a host. Yeah. The disease of addiction uses a host. And let's say I'm the host. It forces me, I have to manipulate and lie to continually feed what inside my brain is saying, if I don't feed it right now, bad things will happen. It doesn't say if I use right now, bad things will happen.
Right.
It tells me if I don't use right now, bad things will happen.
Well, it's like I said, using the cancer thing. If one of your friends or family member had, and I don't know about you, but I've known several people in my life, some close, some not so close, that have gotten cancer. And one of the things I've noticed, obviously this is anecdotal, this isn't like scientific,
right.
but what I've noticed is a lot of them who have had cancer, they quote unquote beat it,
right,
and it comes back.
Right.
Like almost everybody I've known who's quote unquote beat it,
right,
within like 6 months to a year, they're right back in the hospital dealing with it again. And I don't think anybody's ever gotten angry at them because they got the cancer back.
No.
I don't think they're like, oh, you don't really want to not have cancer. Look, you got it back again. Like, I don't think they view it that way. And I think that goes back to the whole viewing it as a choice thing.
Right, right. So if you're not set and prepared enough about this disease, and remember, I mean, a lot of us take our education about this disease, from our childhood. If you had an alcoholic father, that's where you got your education. If you had an alcoholic mother, that's where you got your education. If you had a boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever it was, whatever that initial relationship was, that's your education. I know specifically where I got my definition of what an alcoholic was as a kid because we had one close within our family. Out of respect to my family, I'm not going to mention who that was. They know who it was. But that's where I got my early education of what an alcoholic was. I saw the lies. I saw the manipulation. I thought, wow, this is there's no fix. I mean, I really did not ever think. If you would ask me as a kid if this can be changed, I would say, no, I don't believe in change. I think leopards don't change their spots. I don't think people change. I think that when they do, they're only lying and manipulating because it's always going to happen again. Because as a family member, when you go through the relapses and when you see the relapses keep coming back, you tend to believe, I'm just going to sit back and wait for the other shoe to drop. It's going to happen again. Right? So
it's hard to have faith.
You get a very negative view of recovery, right? And then when you get told, look, it's a disease, it's not that person, everything that recovering people or the treatment industry says sounds like you're trying to defend that person.
Yeah.
And right now I'm in anger mode, so I'm not looking to defend that person. So it's real hard, my perspective from everything you say as a family member at that moment is like you're just trying to minimize the fact that this person, no, that may be true for that, but I know this person.
Yeah.
This person is smarter than this. This person is clearly lying. This person is clearly manipulating. This person doesn't want to get better. You don't understand. And you try to educate the therapist or the treatment facility or anyone that is saying that other stuff. Yeah. You're trying to let them know, no, you don't understand. This is the most manipulative person on the planet. I've known this person since day one, since they were 5. And when they were 5, they were manipulative.
Yeah. Well, at that point, you're just seeking validation at that point, man.
Right. But there's so much anger and pain.
Yeah.
Instead of understanding, well, if this disease is present within your family and someone gets it, that individual that's diseased is going to disappoint you just like you are going to disappoint the addict.
Right.
Here's what you're not ready for. You will disappoint the addict. There will be a day where you're not as present or there as you think you are.
Right.
There will be a day where you're that angry, you're that frustrated, where I call you, and I need you right now. I need you right now. But for some reason, whether you're in your feels and anger at the moment, or I just, had you spend $24,000 hard-earned money that you didn't have in helping me, and I relapsed, whatever the reason is that you're real frustrated, you don't pick up that phone right now.
Right.
Or you don't come at me. You don't come at me with love right now. As a matter of fact, when you pick up the phone, you say, "What do you want this time?" Or something like that.
Yeah.
Well, man, my insecurities right now at the moment. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm not saying you have to walk around eggshells around every addict, but I'm telling you that we are very vulnerable when you're in that sick space. And if I reach out to you, there's going to be a moment where you're not ready to love me, and you're not the right person. So this is the answer is not that you got to walk around eggshells. The answer is being honest with each other. The addict being honest to the loved one being honest to the addict, and saying, I may not be that phone call.
Yeah, I mean,
don't make me that phone call.
Well, sitting with that right now, like that's God, dude. I mean, can you imagine that? You and I both have started businesses and gone down that route in life. I don't know. We never actually talked about any support you did or didn't have, but I know in my life, my mother was always supportive of my decision making and whatnot.
Right.
But there were people in my life that didn't support my decision making when I decided to leave the corporate world and start, kind of on my own venture. And I remember for myself how difficult it was to like start a company on my own. I didn't have any friends or family members that did it, so I was kind of just making it up as I go. Right. How difficult it was mentally, physically, emotionally to try to navigate that whole system, and how much harder it was knowing that some of my closest people around me were like naysayers, were like hating on it and telling me I was doing a bad job, whatever. Like, oh, it's not gonna happen. It's stupid, whatever. So I can't imagine like the difficulty involved with, fighting the disease of addiction, fighting every fiber in your being telling you need something.
Right.
But then on top of all that, having some of the closest people around you that you love and care about, for some probably your motivation in doing it as well, looking at you like you're just a disappointment waiting to happen. Like it's not gonna. That's got to be brutal, man. Like that's got to be. Once again, I'm not taking sides here.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to empathize with the perspective of I'm in the fight for my life right now. The hardest fight I've ever been in my entire. I'm fighting my brain, like the thing that controls everything that I do. I'm fighting that, and I'm looking to you for support and love and just some acceptance from here. Like I'm not even asking you to do it for me. I'm just asking you to just kind of be my rock a little bit, and instead, what I get from you is expectations of failure, or completely overreactions every time I slip up. Like you say, I'm not perfect, and yet when I'm imperfect, you get crazy.
But this is why I'm saying, and this goes out to the addicts out there, that me as a loved one, I also will disappoint you because I'm not super perfect. I can't just ignore the fact that you stole from me. I can't just ignore the fact that you lied to me. I'm hurt. You've lied, you've stolen, you've hurt me. You haven't shown up when you were supposed to show up. You've done so many things to hurt me. Yeah. And my family, I may have had to protect my children from you. I may have had to protect my parent from you. Right. Depending on the relationship. And it could have caused a relationship to fail. So there's a lot of emotion there. What I'm saying is that is why we have other numbers to call. Because at that moment where you are so damn vulnerable, where you need whoever picks up that phone to believe in you the way you have never even believed in yourself. Because you've already disappointed yourself so often. Yeah. You've already you already think you're the worst piece of crap in the world. You think you're stupid. You think you're horrible. You think you're a loser. You're so far behind from everyone else. Right. That the world would be better off without you. You are so depressed that you're suicidal. You need to pick up that phone, and the last thing you need to hear is the history of your life.
Yeah, look at all the times you've done wrong.
So don't make that your first call.
Well, I think you hit on the head, though. I think that, as with most relations we have with other human beings, I think you hit on the head, and that's why communication is so important. Right. Transparency, just being honest with one another and creating an environment to where you're a team as opposed to us versus them. We're all on the same team. I'm supposed to kind of accept that you're on this journey and support you the best way I can, while at the same token trying to keep some accountability and everything else. Yeah. But your job then is to not only do the work of overcoming this disease and fighting it, but your job is also to understand that I'm on my own journey of recovery as well. I'm recovering from all the behavior. I'm recovering from my expectations and like, it's funny you mentioned that because I've had situations even in my home where my wife and I were talking and, being the fact that I am the Dharma guy and I kind of present this image, there's sometimes where my wife will forget that like I'm still a human being. Like I'm not perfect,
Oh, really?
And I've said that to her though. Like I've said to her, like,
my wife doesn't forget.
Well, what I'm getting at though,
she knows I'm not perfect.
What I'm getting at is like sometimes,
it's the opposite. She'll say, "Don't be dope doctor on me right now."
Well, like if my wife comes home in a bad mood sometimes, right?
Yeah.
Or if she's off, I'll start to get off. Like I can feel myself kind of responding to that energy. Yeah. And some days I'm able to kind of like, okay, that's her deal. Let me just go do my thing. Right. But other days I'm not skillful enough. Other days where I get caught up into it and I start getting in a bad mood as well. And I'll explain to her and she says, well, you shouldn't be doing it. I was like, well, I know I shouldn't, but I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not skillful enough all days. Like there's some days where I feel it happening and I can't for whatever reason stop it. And I'll feed off of that negative energy and we'll both just be in a pissy mood. Yeah. And so, but I'm honest with her, and I'm like, look, I'm just not that skillful.
Yeah, but you're still very rational people.
Sure, but when you're in addiction, you're not.
Yeah.
I was just using that as an example of just transparency.
I got you, but the problem in this is that you can't sit together and have this all right, we got to work this out as a team. 'Cause
Yeah.
that's not where we're at.
Well,
You know,
yeah.
I'm
Not
lost
the
in
early
my
stages,
using
though.
and all, so my head is just telling me, F them all.
Right.
They don't understand you. They don't get you. They don't know you. They don't even really love you, man. You know what I mean? Matter of fact, if you had to pick your family, these aren't even the people you'd pick. Screw them.
Sure.
Every time you really need them, they're not even there for you because your brain is trying to hide all the times they were really there for you. Because when you think of all the times they were there for you, for real, and if you really put in perspective their vision, if you utilize their perspective, it just hurts you because now you feel like a piece of shit.
But
You're like, you're right. They've been there for me the whole time, and I've just disappointed, and that hurts, and that makes you want to get higher, even more high.
You don't think they can have that team discussion like after the initial 30 days?
Yes,
though?
yes.
That's kind of what I was referring to.
But right now,
Okay.
yeah.
Like once they're in,
Right.
Because I don't have as much.
No, in therapy, that's what I do, is I have them have that discussion.
Because I don't have as much experience pre-counseling as you do in the addiction world. I have some, but not nowhere near what you had.
Yeah, you've seen them.
I've seen them while they're in and they're coming out, and they're talking to me about conversations they're having with their family, where they're getting upset and frustrated that their family is still questioning, their sincerity and things of that nature. But that's kind of what I was referring to. Is I don't have as much experience with the pre. Well, I mean, because I know we don't want to. We just had a bout, basically, is what I was getting at. You and I just had a phone call the other day that kind of disappointed both of us. That was one of my few pre-therapy interactions.
And hopefully that person's watching because all right. So now let's go into that because hopefully that person's watching.
Sure.
So I can explain a couple things. We're not disappointed in you.
No.
Okay. We don't take it personal, and we don't look at like it's your personal decision that
Correct.
That you struggled to the point where that's what happened.
Correct.
That day.
Correct.
Yesterday. Listen. That's the fight we're all in, and we get that, and we understand that. So what we try to do, because we are that phone call.
Yeah.
And so luckily, we're the phone call you made. Luckily, we're the ones you're talking to. And because we're that phone call, we're not so emotionally battered by all of these things that you may have deemed as failures from your past and everybody.
Right.
That's not us. So we can go through whatever emotions or feelings we have at the moment and disappointment we have at the moment and then shove it off and get right to business again and say, all right, we still need another solution.
How do we respond to this?
Yeah, we still need a solution.
Yep.
I mean, you don't now stop looking for a solution.
No, of course not.
So now we get on game mode. And so cool, right before the show, I saw that this person was dipping right back into game mode and trying to figure out how to make it happen. And that's what you have to do. This thing keeps on
right on.
twisted. It's getting on my nerves. But then you got to get right back into game mode.
Yeah.
How we got to make it happen. So, all right. So I will disappoint you. So to the family members, I mean, you think too rationally sometimes. you come out of your head like why don't you just do this? And that just sounds wonderful. That why don't I? Why don't I just quit? You're right. Why don't I just quit?
Yeah. Well, that reminds me of the best way I've ever heard it put. Like it was a couple years ago now, and we were at the other station, and you kind of brought this scenario that I just never heard it explained. It's a very simple scenario, but I just never really heard it put quite that way. That it really touched base with me, being in the fitness world, was imagine having whatever your favorite meal is sitting in front of you all day long, and how much self-control it would take to not just even taste like a bite or whatever. Yeah. Like that was the best way I've ever heard it. So like, for those of you who aren't an addict, just think, and I've had clients who come to me as in the fitness world who cannot stop doing whatever their vice was, be it pizza, cookies, sweets, I don't know, whatever it was.
It's hard.
They couldn't moderate it.
It's hard.
Yeah, so like mine would be, I don't know. I mean, just pizza. I enjoy me some pizza.
I like pizza. I want pizza right now.
I don't care if I just ate. If I go to your house and you've got like a bunch of pizza, like you had a pizza party. And it just so happens to be one I like, and you're like, oh, I'll have at least a slice, man. I'll be like, oh yeah, I'll have one. At least. I don't care if I just ate. That's how hard it is. But no, I'm good. Or a better one, because I remember
chocolate chip cookies.
I was about to say, because I think I triggered you the other night when I was making them at the house.
You bastard, man.
Warm chocolate chip cookies, fresh out of the oven.
Talking about it pissed me off.
Imagine being in somebody's home, and they pulled out fresh baked chocolate chip cookies out of the oven, smelling good, and you know how good they are when they're warm and sitting on the table.
You're triggering everybody right now. There's people on diets right now, Trinity.
Imagine having those in front of you and not even having one. How much self-control that takes. And then if you have one, I'm going to look at you like, what's wrong with you? Why, loser? Why did
As
you just
you're
not
chewing
do,
it.
Yeah. How can you just say no? It. Yeah.
You have no self-control.
Exactly.
Because that is the world.
Yeah.
That is the world. You expected me to be Mr. and Mrs. Perfect over here.
Yep.
It's hard. It's not easy. If I'm the using addict, you have no clue how many times I've disappointed my damn self. I know I've disappointed you. I've disappointed my damn self.
Right.
But you don't care that I disappointed me. I get that because you're mad at me right now. But just understand, I'm going through something where there's a demon inside my brain. That's why some people in the faith world, in the spiritual world, they put so much effort into explaining where the spirituality component is of this disease because it's like an exorcism.
Yeah, it's difficult.
If you've ever dealt with an addict, you know it's like an exorcism. It's like you're dealing with somebody that's like, well, you are friggin' possessed right now. What the hell are you saying? And there's normal people. I've looked at my daughters who've never even done drugs and alcohol, and I've looked at them and said, what the hell is possessing you right now?
Take their phone from them for 5 minutes. I know my daughter, man.
You try taking the cell phone away from a teenager, you see demon all of a sudden.
Yes. I don't even recognize her, man.
And you trying to take away my dope? You know how much pain I'm about to be in an hour if you throw that away? You know how much pain I'm going to be in?
Yeah.
And then if I've ever done any kind of time sober before and the world was so difficult to deal with, then I got that on top of saying, get sober for what? It's the only joy I have. The only time I feel happy is when I'm zoned out. What are you asking me to do here? I mean, I'm telling you I want to be clean, and I kind of do, but at the same time, I'm afraid to be clean because what is it going to feel like?
Right.
Have you ever thought about how scary that is for an addict? Like, what is life actually going to feel like? You know, when it feels so horrible. This is keeping me alive.
Nope.
And so for the family member, they're like, this is keeping you alive. This is killing you. What the hell are you talking about? This is keeping you alive. This is killing you. And so you got this, both are right. You know, you like to say it. Both things can be true.
Yeah.
Both things are true. That's the problem with this disease. Both things are absolutely true. It's killing you and it's keeping you alive. That's how insane this friggin' disease is.
Yep.
My brain is literally telling me if you don't use, you're going to die. You're not going to enjoy life. You're going to end up shooting yourself or shooting somebody else because this is crap. And that's scary. I remember quitting, and I remember, like, well, now how do you have fun?
Yeah.
I mean, I was like, I'm not a guy that goes and plays putt-putt.
Why not, man? What's wrong with putt-putt?
You know what I mean? How do you go from hustling the way I was hustling and enjoying life? I was in a fast lifestyle. You know, I'm going to Vegas when I want to. I'm running around with fun people. I'm doing crazy things. I'm shooting guns off like they're, you know, like they're toys. And now you want me to go play putt-putt? Putt-putt.
I think putt-putt's kind of fun, though.
You know, the first time I ever went to a movie and sat in a movie without being a little bit intoxicated since like the 3rd grade was like with Dana, my wife. Because as a family, we didn't go see movies.
Right.
So the next time I went to a movie, where I actually went to a movie, did the whole popcorn and soda thing without cracking open some beer that I brought or smoking pot before going in or doing something, was actually with my wife. And I remember, well, you know what movie it was? It was Goodfellas.
Wait, you were around when that was in the theaters?
It was our first date. Dana and I's first date is Goodfellas. And I'm watching this movie, and I'm feeling like I'm identifying with Ray Liotta. I'm saying the choppers exist, bro. I know the choppers. I've had people in the wall. They exist. Run. I'm getting all anxious.
Well, I see that.
Well, no, then. And one of the first movies we also saw was Natural Born Killers.
Oh, that was a good movie.
You know, that was in the first 3 years. And I remember leaving the theater, and I had to look at Dana. We stayed in the parking lot. And this is why I'm saying, you know, if I didn't share this, I would have disappointed Dana. But I'm sitting in the parking lot after Natural Born Killers, right? And I look over to Dana, and I said, Dana, I'm so high right now. And she could not understand what I was trying to say. And I said, Dana, you don't understand. I said, that movie right there right now, I am so wired. I felt so excited. I felt
Right.
the killing and the violence and the anger, and I remember how good violence and anger felt.
Yeah.
And I remember how good it felt to just be so, I don't give a damn. This is who we are. This is what we do. Deal with it. You know what I mean? And I'm like, I'm speeding, and she feels my pulse, and she says, yeah, you're rushing. I go, Dan, I could get high right now because I am high. I'm going to crash. Dude, I was so elevated, and we sat in that parking lot of that theater for a good 10, 15 minutes and just talking it out. And luckily, Dana, I don't even know if you even remember that moment like I do. I don't even know if you remember how good you were to me at that moment. And I don't even know if you know how important that friggin' moment was to me. Where I was at that time. Because to you, you never even saw that side of me. You never even thought that was that big of a deal in your head because they're all stories to you. But to me, it's not stories. They're life. And man, that was a person that was supportive, that didn't have all the baggage, didn't have all the history, and just listened to me.
Right.
And didn't freak out, by the way. And didn't freak out. And I was probably saying some really freaked out things. I don't know. But I remember that. That was one of the biggest moments. And that's what I'm saying. So I may disappoint. If I'm the addict, if I'm the using person, I may disappoint you. You know? And just like I have no disappointments in you left. Like you might say, that's it. Never again. I may think that about you as well. You have no more disappointment. I'm never calling you again for help because the last time I called you for help, you just ridiculed me, and all you did is throw my whole history back in my face. I'm never calling you again. You might, you know what I mean? So we have this mutual thing, and I'm not saying, when I say I'm only personalizing it so that everybody can identify. That's not what happened in my family. You asked what happened in my family. My family was very supportive. They never even knew how bad things were, but they were very supportive in all things positive.
Right.
I want to go back to school? Boom. I need a safe place to be? Boom. Oh, my phone leaves right at that very second. My phone drops. But so I have a very supportive. That's what saved my life.
Right on.
My family and my wife, very supportive. So I encourage you, if you're the addict out there, knowing they're going to disappoint you. There's pain involved. They haven't healed through their pain. You need to find a different support system. You need to find a different phone number. You know when you call your family? When you need to bail out of jail. Or when you want commissary. Because your family's only, by the way, anyone ever in jail. If you're in jail, the family's the only one giving you commissary.
You're not your friend.
Don't call me for commissary.
Yeah.
That's when you don't call me. You don't call Trinity and me. Trinity and I. How do you say that? Me and Trinity.
Either one. Doesn't matter. We're not a
whatever.
English.
Whatever. You don't call us
No.
when you want bail money.
No.
Or you want commissary.
No.
I've had that happen.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
So much. People call me from jail, ask me for commissary.
Wow. And you took
I'm
the call?
not giving you commissary. I am the phone call you call before jail. Don't call me during jail.
No.
You can even call me after jail. You can call me before jail and after jail. Don't call me during jail.
Yeah.
That's when you call your mom and dad. But don't call your mom and dad.
Yeah, please don't call me and ask for money. Please. No.
No. But don't call your mom and dad if you feel like they're not going to respond well. You need other phone numbers. You need, like I just saw Kevin Morse just come on. You need like Lyft Confidential's number.
Yeah.
Because Kevin don't give a damn that you lied to the last 5,000 people that you talked to. He's used to that.
Yeah.
We're used to. I get lied to for a living. I don't care if you lie to me. I get lied to for a living for the last 30 years?
Right.
28 years? I don't expect you to be honest. I'm not. I don't try to judge it like you're telling me the truth or be honest or honest. I'm simply trying to navigate the situation to get you safe.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm just trying to get you safe.
Yep.
Once you're safe and the healing starts, then we can start processing through stuff. Unfortunately, while you're trying to process information. Your family members are still trying to process information. Well, before I lend you this money for this treatment, tell me what you're going to do for me. It's like, jeez, man, I'm going to lie to you.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you whatever you want to hear. What the hell you think I'm frustrated right now.
Yep.
I'm hurting right now. You can't. That's like asking somebody while they're sitting there drowning in water, and you're holding the life preserver. Before I send this life preserver down, when I pull you up, you're gonna be nice to me, right?
Yes.
Look, motherfucker, just drop the damn life preserver.
Help me.
That's God. Frank Severino. That's another phone number you should have. I see two good numbers up there. Kevin Morris, he's up at 30,000 feet. Call him when you're. Don't call your mom and dad. Call him first. He'll help you. Call your mom and dad if you need them for financial help to get into treatment. But your first phone call, so that you can start getting things situated right, should be a number like Lift Confidential, should be like Riverman, should be like Journey Pure, should be like Retreat, should be the Now Matters More Foundation, 833 Now Matters.
Yeah.
But if you don't want that ex to disappoint you again, she's going to disappoint you. He's going to disappoint you. Your parents are going to disappoint you. They're not going to be like, oh, honey, really? You want help? Perfect, baby. I love you. How much money do you need?
Okay, I will.
I'll send it to you right now.
I'm not even recovering. I don't get that kind of love.
Man. Come on, man. I'm going to do a come on, man, for that. Come on, man.
Right.
Right, Trinity?
Well, the other one we didn't talk about yet, though,
Which one?
is the practitioner. I think that needs to be mentioned, though.
Go ahead.
I do.
Speak. Let's do it.
I just because
They're going to disappoint you too?
No.
Did you say they're going to disappoint me too?
Or maybe.
I'm going to get my boxing glove on in a second, Trinity. Where's my Pinklin Thomas boxing glove? It's behind me somewhere.
Well, it could go both ways. I think the from the practitioner's perspective, I think that without the right approach, the client or the addict can disappoint you.
Yeah.
And then vice versa. I think there's going to be times where you as the addict can be disappointed in your the counselor, the therapist.
Let's talk about the treatment center, the employees being disappointed on the addict first. Let's talk about them first.
Well, I know that
because you know damn well I've had employees that clearly forgot these people are sick. Yeah. Okay, if they could make 30 damn good decisions in 30 days, they wouldn't be paying us and coming to us. If they could make good decisions all the time and speak nice to everybody and always be polite and respectful and always be so thank you and you're welcome and sit still and not have to, get up and get out of the seat and all that stuff, then they wouldn't be in treatment.
Well, I think for me, one of the things that I had to learn coming into this business, because once again, I didn't really have much exposure to addiction prior to kind of what we're doing now. Granted, it's been several years now, but prior to that, I had none. And so at first, when I started doing groups, it was a difficult thing to build relationships with these people. Yeah. Then to see, to have a view and expectations, and like, because I remember distinctly there were some times where I would have like a great group and we'd have some great discussions, and then I would go home, and then I come back the next day to find out that one of them like used that night or something, they relapsed or something. And I remember, the first couple times I was like, "Wow, really? Like, was it something I did? Like, I thought we had such a good, that was my introduction to it, Yeah. And then when I had to, what I started to do that worked for me, and I don't know if it works for anybody else, but for me, I stopped focusing on the outcome. That's how I was able to do groups effectively and not take it personal when they would relapse or whatever it may be. I stopped focusing on the outcome. I just focused on the journey. Right. In other words, I didn't attach what I was doing to any sort of outcome. Right. I just attached, look, this is what I'm doing. I'm here, I'm talking, I'm giving tools, I'm doing the best I can. What they do with it from that point is no longer on me. That's it. And I think some people, especially even in the industry, I had some therapists talk to me about that. They didn't like the way I first said it because they thought that I didn't care enough to do it. And I was like, no, I care. But the difference is I care about what I can control. I don't care about what I can't control. So for me, that's how I was able to kind of get through the groups without kind of, getting crazy about it afterwards. Was I'm not here to manipulate an outcome. I'm here just to be another tool in the toolbox. I'm giving you the outcome. I'm giving you the teachings that I can give you, the insight, the wisdom that I can give you, the tools. Right. It's up to you to use them. Yeah. If you don't, that sucks. I'm sorry. I'll still be here. But I'm not going to, own that. I'm not going to go home and, cry about it and stuff. That's the thing. I mean, and there's a lot of people that think, I just did a good group. I just told you about that. They'll sound like parents. Yeah. They'll sound like parents. Didn't we just have a group about that? Didn't we just talk about that yesterday? Yeah. Didn't we just have an individual session where I told you not to do? Didn't I just
take away your privileges yesterday because of that?
Yeah.
Well, you know what? Now you're definitely not going to get it.
Yeah.
It's like, who the hell are you?
Yeah.
I'm paying you to help me. You're supposed to understand how messed up I am. You're not supposed to remind me, hey, by the way, you're a little bit more messed up than I thought you were.
Right.
I mean, who the hell are you, man?
Yeah.
Anyway,
I know a lot of therapists can get burnt out that way, though.
Well, you get burnt out because you take it personal.
Yeah.
Stop taking it so damn personal.
Exactly.
And, I never took it personal, so I didn't get burnt out. As a matter of fact, I had people still calling and apologizing. Maybe the other day we saw somebody that I treated, 8 years ago or even longer, says, that he was a jerk to me.
Yeah.
When he was a teenager.
Yep.
But he's clean now, and he says everything that you said was going to happen, did happen. And I just wanted to, say hi to you and all that. And it's like, wow, man, he remembers that. How cool is that? Man? By the way, this is how powerful the show is. Somebody watching is asking for help right now. So you see how it happens?
Yep.
This is, so I got a little distracted while you were talking because there was somebody currently
No worries.
asking for some help. So I'll take care of that right after the show. I had to make some comments.
We had a couple good comments, actually.
Kevin, go ahead.
Kevin said that, let me see, he said one of the reasons he left the corporate treatment world, he said coworkers were talking about all that, the time that they wasted on the client. And then Frank stepped in and said two things that get him crazy is hating on patients and hating on treatment centers.
Yeah.
He said he knows some people who got healthy at places he would never consider, but it worked for someone, which proves everyone needs something just a little different. Mm-hmm. And I couldn't agree more.
Well, Frank, you're going to have to help me not hate on treatment centers because I got to admit, I do have.
Well, some of them are just. If you're breaking the law, that's bad.
I have a couple that I've hated on, Frank. So I need your help and guidance on that one because
I think some of them might deserve that. There's a difference between not being what I think you should be and being illegal. There's a difference there.
But as far as hating on people or hating clients, I don't like anyone hating on clients.
Yeah.
I will. The quickest way for me to fire you if you work for me, if you come to me and start hating on clients in front of me, or then don't come to me later and be like, well, you're taking the client side. No, I'm taking the side of this is how we treat the disease, and you are not beneficial to the process. Right. And if you're not beneficial to the process,
I have no need for you.
Here's what I think. I know you really think this field is for you, but this field isn't for you. Matter of fact, when I speak to therapists, when I get hired to speak in front of therapists to motivate them or talk to them about the disease of addiction, I start off my whole speaking, you probably see me do this, where I start off the whole thing saying, if you say this, and I'll say a couple sentences that they may say, and they all laugh because they think they know where I'm going with this. Like, oh man, this client, he's a liar. What is he going to say this time? And I'll say all these sentences that I know counselors, therapists, techs say. And then I'll say, if you sound like that, this field may not be for you.
Right.
You may need to walk away from this. You may need to go get retrained in something else.
Yeah.
You may need to take a time out from this. Maybe come back to this later. But right now, you may not be able to be there because this may be the only treatment experience this person ever has. This person may never reach out to treatment again.
Yep.
And they need to believe in the process. They need to have faith in this process because they already have difficulty having faith in themselves and trust in themselves and faith in the world and faith in God and belief systems and anything that they may be asked of them to have. And right now, they've already had at least enough faith to get on that bus or get on that train or get in that plane or get in that car and get to us. And once they're at us, you're going to do that? We may never get that person back. Because you know who never disappoints? And they do disappoint all the time, but they make up for it is drug dealers.
Sure.
I disappointed people all the time when I used to deal, man. I'd make people wait. There's people that got on my nerves. I'd be in Las Vegas, and they'd be in El Paso, and they'd be like, hey, man, I'm at 7-Eleven. I'm waiting for you. I forgot that I was going to meet them, and I ended up going to Vegas, and I'd be like, yeah, I'll be there in a few minutes.
That's
you wait.
funny.
Now, I'm not nickel and diamond and stuff like that, but I'm just saying, in that world, there's a lot of disappointment, but you know what? You get over it. You go like this. Right. The next day, you're still going, okay, what you got for me now? Yeah. You know what I mean? So, but in this world, they're going to die. In this world, they're going to die. Come on, what you go?
Yeah, well, I think that...
You had like a sentence in your head. I saw it.
No, I mean it just.
And he wasn't talking about criminal activity. He said, "You want to go?" What he's saying? What is he saying?
Oh, yeah. He was saying difference between institutional, institutional and boutique, things of that nature.
Yeah.
But no, what I was saying was I do believe though, like.
Oh, treatment styles, like Florida model or a hospital model. Okay.
But I've met some therapists that I think are really great at what they do, and they care. My problem that I've met with some of them is just they get so invested in the outcome. And I think that makes them feel like they care more. Like
right.
I think that makes them successful at their job.
Right.
But what I would like for them to understand is you can still be invested in somebody and invested in the outcome and the process, but without personalizing it and owning a specific outcome. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like being a parent, right? Like being a parent. It reminds me of a scene in a movie one time. It's like, I don't want your life.
Yeah.
Like what they define as success isn't necessarily what you would define as success.
Right.
Now, as long as certain parameters of like abstaining from drug use, obviously,
right.
but life decisions, things of that nature, like you got to kind of let go of some of that.
Right.
Stay in your lane, like we did last week.
Definitely.
Stay in your lane. My lane is to give you therapy and treatment. And that's what I'm going to do.
Right.
And if you kind of don't listen to some of it, it's just not your time.
Right.
It's not right. That's not where you're at on your path right now. I don't control that. And I think that there is a way to be successful and be a rock star without being so invested in one specific outcome. And I think a lot of them need to hear that. I really do.
Right. And just to respond to something that Kevin's asking about, what happened to the person. There's already someone communicating with him right now as we speak. We will definitely do something about that. So if someone does call even during the show, we may not call them live on the air because that's not going to be right. No. But we have a system in place that someone is talking to that person right now, just so you know, Kevin.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So, yeah, man. I don't know.
Well, because I don't see either one of us are neither one of us get torn up when something happens. Like if somebody relapses or something like that. Like we don't like it, we're not happy about it, but our days aren't ruined by it.
Right.
And I don't think that means we don't care. I just think that means that we understand the system, we understand the process, and one leads, step A, step B kind of a thing.
Right. So now to the person about the treatment center, right? So now to the addict. Back to the addict perspective. That the treatment center may disappoint you. I, as a treatment center, may disappoint you.
Yeah.
You may not like mac and cheese.
Oh, God.
I don't know how many people don't like mac and cheese.
Dude, man.
You may not like hamburgers.
I heard that so much.
You may not like the food I give you.
Oh, the food, the complaints on the food.
You may not like the temperature.
Oh, jeez.
You may not like your roommate. You may think your roommate shouldn't be your roommate.
Or phone privileges.
You may not like that you can't have your phone, or you can't have your phone, whatever it is. You may not like that you can't have your phone.
Or you have to go to this specific group or this specific meeting.
You may not like that there's only that smoking area, this smoking area. You may not like that I'm asking you to pick up those cigarette butts. Oof. You may not like that therapist or that counselor. You may not like that when I send you to Trinity makes you throw up.
That happened like twice with people, man.
Twice my ass. Trinity will make you throw up. You may not like something about the treatment center. I get it. They're going to disappoint you somehow. May not look exactly like the brochure. The rep or the person on the phone may not have told you that. You got to remember, the people you were talking to initially to get to that treatment center in the first place, they had one focus in mind, and that was to save your damn life.
Yeah.
Right?
Pretty much.
It was crisis management at the moment, because to us, we know you're in crisis.
Yeah.
So we're not going to have every conversation about every group and everything that's in the treatment center and every you know what I mean? Because right now we're just trying to figure out, can we get you safe? Right?
Yep.
So I'm sorry I didn't tell you that, we don't have Taco Tuesday, which would be a crime at any facility, by the way, to not have Taco Tuesday.
Well, they do have Taco Tuesdays, but they're flour tortillas.
Oh, yeah, I'd leave. I get you then. Leave the treatment center. If they give you tacos with flour tortillas, leave that damn treatment center right now. AMA. Call Uber. Oh, I'm sorry. You don't have your phone. I'm kidding.
Gosh.
You may not like that you don't have internet privileges. You may not like that they got upset with you because that female stepped 1 foot in your room. She didn't come in. She only put 1 foot in, or she was talking at the doorway. You may not like that you couldn't sleep, so you decided to take a walk around the campus. And that damn security guard treated you like you were trying to run or something.
Treat me
or
like
doing something wrong. Yeah. You may not like that you got asked to do a random urinalysis test. Why did you pick me for a random? Listen, man, there's a lot of things. We're going to disappoint you. The point is that there's nothing easy here. There's no way to completely do everything perfectly on either side. So just trust it. If we're in this business to help you, we do. There's more people in this business that help people that are absolutely in it for the right reason. I can assure you that 99% of the people that you're dealing with out of that facility doesn't make the money you think they make.
No.
Stop. If it's not about the money. There's nobody that you're going to come in contact with that it's about the money. It's not going to happen. All the people you're coming in contact with, they believe in this. Or at least most of the I'm going to say at least what? I don't want to do I was almost about to do a Donald Trump.
I would say the vast majority. For sure.
I'm going to do these big numbers. I mean, and you know, I can't imitate the Donald, so I'm not going to do it.
I would definitely say there's the vast majority.
The vast majority of people in this business actually give a damn and want to help you. Right? What does he say? What does Frank say?
He said, isn't it their job to not like something?
Yes. You're supposed to not like it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And here's the beautiful thing. A good staff, by the way, all these things I just said that we can all laugh about, a good staff person will know, of course, I wouldn't either.
Sure.
I complain about the same damn shit at my house. The temperature is not always good at my house. I'll tell Dana at least 3 times in a day it's too damn cold in his house.
Oh, God.
There's at least one meal she'll prepare during that week that I'll go, Dana, you like mushy, I don't like mushy. She'll look at me and says, you like burnt, I don't like burnt. I mean, you know, no, but talk about it, share about it. I'd rather hear it because I take all into account.
Right.
You know, I've shifted up. I've changed who we had as people that what do you call that? Services, catering services based on client responses.
Yeah.
But you got to understand, they aren't well. They're not feeling well. They're being a little moody. They're allowed to be moody. They're our client. That's why I call them clients. And if they were patients, hey, they're a patient. They're supposed to not be well. Yeah. So I don't care if you call them client and you give them that ultimate respect, or patient and you understand they have a disease.
Well, they're not there because they're well-adjusted and doing great right now.
Come on, man. Get thicker skin and help the person out. They're there to get better. So the treatment center might disappoint you. Hey, treatment centers, the client might disappoint you. Who gives a damn? Do your damn job. Do your job. And we got all of them. And you know what? At the end of the day, here's the deal. If you're out there suffering right now, and somehow you're hearing this broadcast, whether you're listening to it live right now, whether you're listening to it on a podcast, because you can get this on podcast, please share it with your friends. You can get it on iTunes, Google, Play, all podcast stuff, right? Yep. It's everywhere.
Everywhere.
The Couch Live. Just search The Couch Live. However you listen to podcasts, you'll find it. Share it. Let people know it's there. And if you're listening to it on a podcast or you're watching this on YouTube, because you can go to youtube.com/The Couch Live. That's youtube.com/The Couch Live. Subscribe. And if you're watching this and you want help, 833 Now Matters. That's 833 Now Matters. Now, I know there's more letters in there than numbers. I'm sorry to disappoint you.
That disappoints me, man. I'm a little disappointed.
833 Now Matters is how I say it, and 833 Now Matters is how you remember it. 833 Now Matters.
Yep.
And then we'll connect you with people like the people that have been on this. You know, there's Kevin Morris. He's from Lift Confidential. There's Frank Severino. He's from Rivermen. They've been watching this on Facebook Live, because that's another way that you can view this. It's not the ideal way because my camera only has it on me, and, you know, I don't have landscape mode like Trinity can do for some reason, because Facebook disappointed me.
Stop being disappointed, man.
I'm disappointed.
Not everything's perfect.
But who are our other sponsors, Trinity, and any other news that we have to give out before we get out of here?
Well, I mean, the sponsors, as we covered earlier, is Retreat Behavioral Health. We got Journey Pure, 9 Matters More Foundation, of course, and then Orange County Drug Free Coalition. But announcements, we have our golf tournament coming up.
April 1.
April 1st, man.
Yeah, Rivermen's already signed up. Rivermen.
Right on.
One of our event partners.
Yes.
They've signed up. They're on the ball as a sponsor.
Yeah.
Thank you, Frank, and thank you to all the good folks at Rivermen. They got some great facilities.
Don Mealy Mazda, right?
Yeah, Don Mealy Sports Mazda and Subaru Sport or something like that.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, they came in, and no, they came in as a title sponsor.
Yes. And,
thank you very much, Don Mealy.
Victoria's Voice is still coming in, right? We
as
have
a title sponsor.
Yeah.
Westgate Resorts, really. Westgate Resorts.
Okay.
Thank you, David Siegel and Westgate Resorts. Title sponsor.
It's going to be a good one this year. If you want to play, if you're in the area locally, or if you want to sign up as a sponsor, still a few holes and other sponsorships out there. It's nowgolftournament.org. And
nowgolftournament.org.
Yes. And right about now, it should be flashing on the screen if somebody knows how to produce.
Ooh,
flashing on the screen. Nowgolftournament.org.
Why don't you aim to? Why don't you do this while you're at it?
Right here.
It should be scrolling right there.
Right here.
No, that's not where it is. I'll show you.
It'll go wherever it goes.
It's scrolling right there. Scroll.
Nowgolftournament.org.
All right, Trinity. Well, thank you very much. All right, people. Please, being disappointed is part of life. But when you put expectations on people, you're just expecting to be resentful. Expectations lead to premeditated resentment, not only for yourself, but for other people. Don't expect too much. Just enjoy what you have, embrace it, and if you don't like what you have, modify it, change it. Find people around you that know how to do or that inspire you to do something a little bit differently and do it. It's going to be hard. Good things are never really easy. Also, let me thank somebody. On our sports show, it happened. We were doing our sports show earlier today. And the good folks at McDonald's just dropped by. Trinity asked me if I was going to the 500, the Daytona 500. I said, I'm not going to the Daytona 500. Didn't I say that?
Yes, you did.
Then within 15 minutes of that live broadcast, boom, boom, McDonald's came through. So go to McDonald's. Enjoy McDonald's. McDonald's just came by and dropped off 2 tickets to the Daytona 500. Thank you very much to Alan Ryan, the Ryan family. They own a couple of McDonald's in this area. And from all of us here, adios, amigos. Oh, wait, I got to be set. I'm not even set, bro.
Oh, my gosh. You're killing me here.
No, I wasn't set. I wasn't ready to do my sign-off. I suck.
Wow.
I don't really suck. That's a lie. I rock. Adios, amigos. It's time for a time.
And that was without even a single drop of rum.
That was awesome.